Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market, but today guys has to be a breaking news video because yes, we have the breaking news and it's coming from the manager's world. It's been crazy hours. In the last 12 hours several things happened because we had games over the midweek and also last weekend having an impact on managers, and so we have two important news that is going to impact the managers domino for this 2026 and also for the summer, of course. Because the first news is fresh from the morning, because Thomas Frank has been sacked by Tottenham Hotspur with immediate effect. It's over between the English manager and Tottenham Hotspur. And then the other side of Europe in Ligue 1, the story I told you overnight, Roberto De Zerbi and Olympique Marseille part ways with immediate effect. Two different cases, two completely different situations. Because Roberto De Zerbi decided to leave Olympique Marseille and the club agreed to accept this. So there were, from what I understood, no issues, no problems between the players and De Zerbi. Many players wanted De Zerbi to stay. There were no problems between De Zerbi and the management. So there was not a real problem between De Zerbi and Marseille, but just the recent weeks, the recent results have been really tense weeks and really complicated moments in terms of performing, also because of the Champions League. We saw what happened, and then the Classic against Paris Saint-Germain lost 5-0. So it's been a really difficult couple of weeks, and so De Zerbi felt that the best way was to say goodbye to Olympique Marseille with immediate effect, to help the club, to help the team. It's the manager at the end who has to do it sometimes when things are not working, despite having still a good connection. And so it's over between Roberto De Zerbi and Olympique Marseille, with the club accepting this decision from the manager, and so they agreed on the exit conditions last night, and so Roberto De Zerbi is available on the market. Exactly the same as Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca is available on the market. In that case, the big difference is that Enzo Maresca's situation at Chelsea was quite tense, quite complicated, because in that case, between Maresca and Chelsea owners, management, the situation was not easy on the market and not only, so it was a completely different story. But in terms of contract and exit is exactly the same. So part ways with immediate effect available on the market. And then there is Thomas Frank, guys. Thomas Frank case is completely separated, completely different, because in this case is purely about the results. Okay, Tottenham are in top 8 in Champions League, but what they've been doing in Premier League has been terrible, horrible in terms of results. Tottenham are currently 16th in the Premier League table, with some teams that still have to play. But in terms of results, the last couple of months have been really horrible in Premier League again, because in Champions League Tottenham did very well. But Champions League was not enough for the club. And so despite Thomas Frank last night, after beating Newcastle, after losing against Newcastle, telling the press, I am 1000% sure I should be in charge against Arsenal. I'm also sure and convinced I'm gonna be in charge against Arsenal for North London Derby. And when they ask him, do you feel your job is under threat? No, I spoke to the owners on Monday, so there is no issue. Well, today, Tottenham decide to part ways with Thomas Frank, with immediate effect. Communicated to the manager at 9 a.m. in the morning. So decision made by owners and management together. It's over between Tottenham and Thomas Frank. And so you can understand it's a really difficult situation now at Tottenham, because obviously they have to sort this story with the Premier League table really dangerous at this stage, still with a very nice situation in Champions League, but the main focus, of course, is now on sorting what happened in Premier League. This is going to have a massive impact, guys, on the manager's market, because obviously Roberto De Zerbi is a manager who is really appreciated around, especially in Premier League. For example, he's always been one of the names under consideration at Manchester United since summer 2024. So in that case, it was between Tuchel and De Zerbi. Then Man United decided to continue with Erik ten Hag after beating Manchester City in the cup final. And so in that case, the decision of the club was to continue. Roberto De Zerbi has always been appreciated. Roberto De Zerbi could open doors to a Premier League return, according to my information, but at the moment with Manchester United there is nothing guaranteed, agreed or discussed yet, because first of all, Man United are very happy with what Michael Carrick is doing. And second, Man United process to decide who is going to be the new manager is going to take plenty of time, still very early. It's not going to be a February decision. So this is the situation around the Zerbi. Then for Thomas Frank, at the moment the situation is a bit different. So nothing decided or guaranteed for his future, but he's going to open the Tottenham position. Many of you asking me about Xavi, guys, now. What I can tell you is that Xavi would be open to having the opportunity to train in the Premier League. I always told you this. Xavi feels ready for a new opportunity. But at this stage, it's still early to say what Tottenham will do. It's very fresh, the decision to part ways with Thomas Frank. And also, it's not an easy position in this moment, Tottenham, considering what the situation in the Premier League. So it will take some time to talk to managers and see what's going to happen in terms of candidates, in terms of opportunities. So let's see what Tottenham decide to do. Of course, for the managers market is a huge 2026 because Ruben Amorim is gone, because Xabi Alonso is gone. And let me tell you just quickly on Xabi Alonso. Xabi wants to return as soon as possible. Xabi doesn't want to waste any time, doesn't want to relax, doesn't want to rest. Sometimes managers, when they get out of the club, they want to rest a bit. It's not the case of Xabi Alonso. So Xabi is ready to return as soon as possible. Then we have Enzo Maresca. We have to be careful to the situation of Enzo Maresca because he's available on the market. And when there is a manager like Enzo Maresca, interest is always growing. So let's see what's going to happen with him. I told you yesterday in a video, and I maintain that, he's one of the names on the short list at Manchester City if, and it's a very big if, Pep Guardiola decides to leave the club at the end of the season. Pep has not decided anything yet. So still early, still not decided. But also the situation of in this case, Enzo Maresca is going to be one to follow after this crazy earthquake in the managers market. And then, guys, also important to mention that we will have, I think, plenty of options in the summer for Roberto De Zerbi. Because again, we have to see what's going to happen with Manchester United. I keep maintaining also the name of Thomas Tuchel, but guys, again, at the moment it's very early. You can imagine by yourself that Thomas Tuchel is fully focused on England for the World Cup and is not going to entertain any other sort of conversation before the World Cup. On Roberto De Zerbi, I'm sure there is going to be plenty of opportunities, with him being open to different options also in Premier League. So let's see what's going to happen also with other coaches, because it's not only these, but for sure these are going to make the market very interesting. At the moment, guys, I keep maintaining, many of you ask me if Zinedine Zidane can be part of this conversation, maybe for Real Madrid, maybe for Tottenham. Zinedine Zidane not keen on Premier League from what I understand at this stage, and Zinedine Zidane fully focused on France job after the World Cup 2026. Now Didier Deschamps, and then the next one could be, as I mentioned, Zinedine Zidane. Guys, on all of this, let me know your opinion on this manager's madness here in the comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your opinion on all these coaches making their moves.